TypeScript is working in your VS Code?
Yes, ma'am. It's working.
Okay, what about others?
Yes, it's working.
Okay. Okay, what is TypeScript?
It's a superscript of JavaScript. And here the data types and we need to add mandatory.
Why we are using a TypeScript instead of using a JavaScript?
It supports OOPS concept and it's like a static typings, define the variable and functions like string, number, boolean.
Okay. Then
It's a compiler base, so we'll get error easily than JavaScript.
so today we are going to see about the we are learn the basic TypeScript and what is variables and data types. Okay, today we can see what is array and what is enum and what is interface first. Okay. So first we can see what is array. So I think array it is in JavaScript only. Okay, what is array? Why we are using array?
In an array, we can store different type of data.
If we need
Okay.
more variables, I mean a set of bunch of variables, then we can use it.
Okay. See, inside an array, we can able to pass a multiple values. Okay, so by using inside and square bracket, we can able to pass a multiple values. For example, here we can take equal to. Inside, we can make a so anyone without learning a JavaScript, directly you're coming to the Angular. All guys are completed your front end course.
Yes.
Others?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
We are
completed
learning
the front end.
because without learning a JavaScript directly, you're coming to the TypeScript means you cannot able to understand. So that's why I'm asking. Can you go join us today without learning a JavaScript? Okay. See, this is a simple array. Okay. Here we can see, here we are passing a student's name and this is a simple JavaScript only. We are just calling a square bracket and inside a square bracket we are passing the values. Okay. So here itself you can call the array. Okay. And here itself you can call the data types here. Okay. So directly you're calling an array and here you're calling the data type. So this data type is it's all in a string value only. We are passing the value inside a double quotes. Okay. So where is the terminal? After the JS.
Yeah, JS.
See, we are getting an output. Okay, suppose here I am passing a number. Okay, and here we are passing a data type as a string means without running the code itself, the compiler will get an error. Okay, so in case here I'm going to pass both the string value as well as I'm going to pass the number value 20 and 30. So now how we can able to give? So here inside a square bracket, I'm passing both string value as well as the number also.
It will not accept.
Will not accept, but I want to pass both the string value
Then
as well as the number.
number colon string or string colon number or condition we need to.
Yes, here you have to specify string or number.
Or else
Okay,
any
so
we
if you're
can.
passing, yeah, any keyword also you can pass. If you're passing any keyword means the both the boolean value, number, or any data type, it will support here. Okay, so like this also you can able to pass in a TypeScript. But in a JavaScript, see, it's converting into a JavaScript. You can see, okay, here we are adding a new code, right? So we have to run the code. You now see the JavaScript. There is a no data type is updated here. Okay, but in a TypeScript only, we have a data type. We are calling a data type here. Okay, so this is a basic concept only. Okay, so in our array, we have a different types of array. So what are the types you are learned in a JavaScript? What are the types of array you are learned in JavaScript?
Array dot split, join, and slice, those methods, right?
Yes.
Yeah, slice, join, split, and
Okay. Then
filter, find includes.
so here see dot length. And we have reverse method also. Reverse and then what? Short and pop.
Push.
Push also is there, but we have to push some other values to it. Shift and we have a push. So push we can do some code. So now we can get the output. See the length will count the length of the array. Okay, the reverse option means it will start counting from the reverse. Short means what is the
Ascending
difference?
and descending order.
Yes, ascending and descending order. Okay, and then pop means it will take the which value?
Last element in an array.
First index or first element.
First index only, but why it's taking a test 2? Here we are passing a test 1 only.
The array is reverse. That's no.
Here we are using a short. Okay, the short is coming correctly. But here we are using a pop. But it has to take at least the first value, or if it is taken last value also it's okay. But why it's taking the second value?
It will take the index first, index by default one as index.
Okay. Okay, so the shift means it will take the last value. Okay, so push means here already we have the here I'm going to pass the value, but it will not support because here we are passing a string. So that here we can make a both string and data type. Number, or we can take a data.
Can we use map here? Map function in TypeScript. Map.
Here we can use the for each. For each means what?
Yeah, the same
What is
thing.
the
What each element it will go and check
yes,
from there.
same thing on here. First we can
Yes.
check how it's
So map will not can't use, right? For each only we can use in TypeScript.
both map also it will support.
Okay.
See, it will add the value. Sorry. Without the for each also directly you can call the values here. It will support here. Okay. So these are the array thing we have already all learned everything in a JavaScript only. The reverse, short, pop, shift, and we have a concat value also. Okay, you're creating a two arrays. By using a concat also, we can able to merge two arrays into one array. Okay, so like this also you can able to create. Here we can make a one, here we can make
And by default, the sorting will be ascending, right?
yes.
How about it, if we want the descending order of sort?
We have to make some function to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So default it will support in a ascending only. One, no. Six. Two arrays join together and it will get a one output. Okay, like this also you can able to add. This is also an array type only. Okay, so these are the types that you have already learned in the JavaScript only. The same concept only here. But the difference is here we are directly specifying the data type here. Okay, but in the JavaScript we are not supposed to specify any data type. So directly we are making a square bracket. Inside a square bracket we are passing the value. But here we are specifying the data type, which data type we want. Okay, if you want to make it in a string, directly you can call the string also. or you want to add both the string and number, means you can use or symbol, and you can able to use both the data types here. Okay, or else you can use any data type also. If you are using any data type, means all the what are the data type you are passing inside an array, all the data type you support. Okay, so these
What
are the
about void?
array forms.
What about void? Void.
Void means it's nothing, but it will not return the function. Okay, by using a void, it will not return the function. We cannot able to get the functions. After coming to the Angular all, you can able to understand. Okay. So next is enum. Any idea about enum?
Is also similar to arrays.
Not similar to array. So enum is a full form of an enumeration. Okay, this is a new concept in TypeScript. In Java, we don't have an enum. Okay, so for example, why we are using the enum means for you're creating one real-time project. Okay, so in a real-time project, for example, you're creating a working time project. So working time project means in a company, the both manager also it will work, and admin also it will work, and the TL also it will work, and the employer also it will work. So in a company itself, we are having four types of roles. Okay, so if the four type of roles you want to make it in a filter with how many hours the manager is working, how many hours TL is working. Okay, so if you want to filter the row wiseness, that case you can call the enum here. Enum it will help the values. Okay, it will pass the value collection to the storing together. Okay, for example, here itself you can take here itself we can pass some that working workers. We can make a workers. Inside a square bracket, I'm going to pass a multiple object. Here I'm going to make a any data type. So we can pass more values. Okay. Now see each workers. Okay, so some workers is like an admin, some of them are TL, some of them is manager, and some of them are workers. Okay, for that, here I'm going to create a enum. So enum you have to follow enum and here I am making the enum name. Okay, so in my company we are having a four roles. The one is manager, okay, equal to 0, and what? Admin equal to 1. To filter the role-based thing only, we are using a enum. Okay, it will be very easy to filter the role thing. Okay, so here we are making it here. And what? Employer. Now see, here we are going to add the role wise. So we are just writing the role, and here you have to call the role here. Role dot. See, automatically the values will be given like an option. Okay, already I told you the TypeScript is the IntelliSense. Okay, if you type a dot itself, what are the value you are passing here? All the list of the value it will visible here. Okay, so this is the admin. Okay, same thing for here. Manager. TL. Employee. Here also we are placing the values. Oh, sorry. Now we are going to filter the values. Okay, so we are having more than 100 and data in a database. Okay, so in 100 and database, the 25% of user it is an employer, and 25% is a TL, and 25 is a manager, and 25 is a admin. So you want to get the data by using the filter the thing. Okay, so in admin they can able to see all the pages, what are the components you are creating, what are the HTML page you are creating. In all the view page they can able to see. Okay, manager can have all the accesses to see all the data, who are coming and who are all working, how many hours they are working. See the manager also they can able to see the admin's pages also. Okay, so for TL, some pages only the TL can able to see. Some HTML page only they can able to see. For the employers, employer can able to see only they are looking at our page components. Okay, so like a filter is the optional thing, or in that case, we can use a enum. If you are using a enum and calling a manager and the TL like this means, if you are filtering the role wise means it will be easy for us. Okay, so here also we can able to use a filter option. See, we can make a user admin equal to it is the arrow key. You all know what is the arrow key?
This arrow function.
Yes. Here I'm just calling the role. Okay. Symbol equal to and call the enum here. This is the enum. See, it's showing in a green color. Okay, if you click, automatically it will show. Enum dot admin. Same thing for a first we can check whether it is not. See, in manager we have a 2 and what? We have only 2. So this is the first array. Unable to see. So the manager list we have only one manager. So enum you can able to see it's taking a 0. It means it will start the value from the 0. Okay, here we are directly calling the values here. Okay, so here we have to use the 2 and 3. Not a Okay, so here also you can able to use a values like a 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. Okay, from the value also you can able to filter the values. In case here also you want to pass the galaxy here in a database, it will save like this only. Okay, if you are filtering the admin role and the filtering option, it has saved in a database means the role it will save like a 0 or 1 or 2 like that only. So in that case, you want to save it like a string value. So if the admin manager means in the database also it has to save like a manager only. It's not supposed to save like a number means. Here also you can directly call the string value. It will support. Okay. See, we can pass only one value. See. Okay, so instead of giving a string value, you can use a number value itself because in a string value sometimes you're making some optional statement or optional thing, or if you're making some other spelling mistake or it's taking some empty spaces means your filtering option will not work. Okay, in that case, if you're calling a number value and you're saving a number value like this means it will be easy to filter the option. Okay. So for things, if you are filtering only the role two list, it has to come and it has to visible in different screens. Directly, you can call the value two. The value two is TL only. So all the TL list it will visible in a front screen. Okay. So for that case, all you can call the enum value here. So you can able to understand.
So enum is used to differentiate like category wise like that. We will use enum, right? If you want
Yes.
to or if you
Yes.
want to filter.
So for filtering the value, okay, so mostly the filtering value only will help. So for that case only we are calling the enum here. So it will help to make a filter option. Okay, so for that case also without the enum, if you're directly calling the manager and or TL means we have to get all the data. Okay, and then we have to compare with the ID and we have to compare with the name and then only we are going to get the data. So it will take a more processing to filter the data. So in that case, if you're calling a enum and just if you're filtering the value as 3 or 1 or 0 means directly we can able to filter the value easily.
It will be fast as well, right? If you will use
Yes,
enum.
yes, 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 fast as well. Okay. Others can able to understand how the enum, why we are using enum.
That's
Others Okay, so interface. Okay, so the next is interface. So, for example, you're creating a one registration form. Okay, so in a registration form, so mostly in a registration form, what are the input field we can able to give? We can able to give a mail ID or password or mobile number or gender and what address. So minimum we have to give a only 10 or 10 values only we can able to pass in a registration form. In that case, if you're filling some other form for the school admission or college admission means in that form you can able to see for you. For example, you can take a bank or registration form also. Okay, in a bank form also it will be more than 20 input field will be there. Okay, so as we are a developer, first we have to get all the information from the client. Okay, so client will give the information that all the input field we are need inside and registration form. So we have to write all the input field what are the clients is asking. Okay, for example, if the client asking a name input field and then they want the age and they want the gender option and they want the mail ID and password and mobile number address. So if they are asking more than 20 input field means, so we are writing all the input field in a paper and we are making some other documentation. Okay, so from the documentation, we are going to start creating the registration form. So in that case, you are doing the project. Okay. So in after 6 months, you're moving to another project. Your project is going to handled by the another person. Okay. So you can able to understand what are the input fields that your client is asking to fill inside the registration form. If the new employer come and take the your project, means they cannot able to understand. Okay. So in that case, creating a documentation and saving all the input field, what are the client is asking, and creating a documentation we are storing inside a documents. Without the documentation also inside a code itself, we can able to use the interface. Okay, so by using an interface, we can able to write all the input field, what are the user is asking. Okay, after entering all the input field by creating an interface, means just you can call the interface inside a form. Okay, in case if you're creating a form, if you're missing any in any one input field also, the form will not allow to submit the execution. Okay, why? Because in interface you're creating more than 20 data, but you're calling only the 5 or 6 data. Means balance we have more data there. So if you're not getting all the data, means the form will not execute the code. Okay, so referencing thing only we can able to use the interface there. Okay, so here itself we can able to use the interface. For example, here we are creating a enum, right? So same like we can create an interface also. So we have to call the interface, and here I'm calling a employee details. Okay, and inside of details, I'm going to collect the employer's name as a string. Okay, and then I'm going to collect the age. Age is said to be a number, and then what? We can use a role because already role is there.
Email
Okay,
ID.
so we can use yes. So already we have created a role as to enum. So directly you can call the enum value here. And you can use the mobile number. Okay, so like this, mobile number is said to be a number one. Okay, so like this, you can collect the information from the client and what are the information they given, all the information you can store it inside the interface. Okay, now just call the interface inside here. Instead of array, just call the interface and use the square bracket. That's all. See, it's showing an error. Why? Because here we are passing a age and a name, age, role, and mobile number. But here we have only name and role only. But we didn't pass an age and mobile number. So that it's showing an error. See, if I click an error, it's going to see. Missing following properties from the employee details. See here, age and mobile number is missing. Okay, so for referential thing only, we can able to create an interface. If you are creating an interface and inside an interface, if you are passing the values, means if you want to use the interface, means without using all the properties, the function will not work. You have to call all the values, what are the things you're using inside an interface. Okay, now I'm calling an age.
Is it possible to make any field as non-mandatory like that?
Yes, you can use. Wait, I will tell. 20, and then we have a mobile number. We have to call the mobile. We can use some number here. That's all. Some field is see now it's working. Okay. Again, if the client asking to add some more field. For example, here the client is asking they want an address field also. Here I'm adding an address. Okay. And some user can have the address, some user can not have the address. In that case, here you can use the optional thing. Okay, so just call the question mark. The question mark is said to be an optional. If you are using an optional means, it will not consider. So if you want, you can call. If you don't want, you can leave. Okay. I think,
So by default, the value will be null, right?
yes. No. Here we are passing a string and here we are passing a number. You can use a any here. You cannot able to pass a null value here. Okay, because some user having the address, right? So if you're passing a null means all the users, it will be changed the status into null only. Okay, so in that case, you can call a any keyword or you can use a string also because here I'm passing a string value only. Okay, now if I filter the same value, you can see. So in first, we are filtering the value as a manager. Manager, we have in only one manager is there. Okay, where is the manager? See, we having only one manager. So that list is coming here. Okay, here you can see for manager, we are using a enum as a direct manager one. So that it's taking a manager word here. Okay, for a here, we are filtering with the admin, right? So in admin, we have a more than 1, 2, 3 admins out there. Okay, in admin, you can able to see the role is 1. 1 means it's taking from here. Okay, now if you're filtering the value with a 1 means what are the who are all they are in admin, the list one it will visible in a front screen. Okay, so this is the interface, this is the enum. So mostly in Angular we have to use the interface and enum only for the form and for conditional thing. So everything we have to call the enum and we have to use the interface. So both the thing it's like a user reference only. Enum also it's like a user reference and interface also it's like a user reference. Okay, you can able to understand. But in a JavaScript, if you want to make a name, age, role, mobile number, address, means there is a no interface in JavaScript. So we have to write each field. Okay, if you are missing any one property also, but in JavaScript it will allow. Okay, but in a TypeScript, once you have created a inside an interface, if you are creating all the values, in case if you are missing any one property also, the whole section it will not execute the code. Okay. Any doubt in this?
Any scope those for this interface and enum? I mean, inside the project or function like that. public, private.
Which function?
No, any scope, I mean, from where and all we can fetch these enums. Once we'll declare means in any functions or in throughout the project, anywhere we want, we can utilize, right?
Yes, I will tell what are the things. Here we are creating inside of one TS only. Okay, we can create a separate enum file and separate interface file. And in whichever TS file you want to call the enum, just we have to import the enum file and then we can able to use. Okay, so we can use it in any way. It will support. Okay, because here you can create a role. Okay, for example, you are having a two forms. The one is registration form and one is login form. Okay, you can take like this. You're having a registration form, you're having a login form. Once you registered the user details also, in the registration form, we're having an option as well whether the user is manager, admin or TL or employee. Okay, in that case, we have to call the enum inside the registration form component and then we can use it here. Okay, and then in a login form, if you log in with your mail ID and your password means first your mail ID and your password, it will check with the filtering option as a enum only. Okay, it will check whether the enum is two, it's saved in a database means then you are become a TL. Okay, in case your mail ID is saving like a three means then you are become an employer. So like that, it will check with the filter option and then only you can able to move on to the web page. Okay, so once you created an enum means in whichever place you want, you can able to call. It will support.
In JavaScript, enum we can't use and interface it will support, right?
Enum and interface is a new topic in TypeScript. We don't have JavaScript.
Hmm.
This is all new features in TypeScript. Okay, array, class, and object, functions. The topics all we have in a JavaScript also. But enum and interface and data type as a any keyword and what?
Right, yes.
Yeah, that and all we have in a TypeScript only. Others can able to understand. So by using an interface and enum only, we are going to create the Angular forms and if conditions, everything. Okay, for now, just we are learning the basic thing only. What is enum, why we are using enum, and what is interface, why we are using interface. That's all. Okay, anyone can tell what is enum and what is interface? What is enum?
If we want to categorize based on some roles or any some specific condition or for any filters, we'll use enum.
Okay. So what purpose we are using an interface?
Extra information or for the I mean common things for all the details with the common criteria. We'll use the interface, right? I mean,
Okay.
age will be common for all and name will be common for all. So in the interface, we'll define in one place in general.
What's the interface? If I try to create a form, what will happen? Just can tell. So without an interface, we are creating registration form. Okay, in a registration form, we have more than 20 input fields.
So in each and every customer or the values, we need to store, update the value like that. It will be difficult. Using interface, it will
Yes.
be easy and it will be stored in the same place.
Yes.
Is that it?
So in a role, yeah, it's correct. So in a role, we are just calling a manager, admin, TL, and employees. So you can, in a real-time project, we can able to use a update, edit, delete also. Okay, if you're calling a zero value means it will become an creating function. If you're calling a one value means it will become an edit function. If you're calling a two means it will become an update function. Okay, that like that purpose also we can able to use a enum there. Okay, if the user want to delete a account means in that case we can call the three value here. So three value means it become a delete. So in that case also we can able to use a enum. It will help. Not only for the role. Okay. So tomorrow we can see what is class and function and inheritance. That and all we have in a JavaScript itself. Okay, we can see what is class, function, and inheritance. And then we can see the modules and guards. Okay, so modules and guards also it's a new thing in a TypeScript. After completed this, we can move on to the Angular. Still now, any doubt, others? You can able to understand why we are learning a TypeScript. What is the difference between JavaScript and TypeScript?
Yes, I can understand.
Okay. Okay, guys, then we can wind up.
Yeah, one doubt.
Thank you.
Thank-
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, in JavaScript and all we'll use DOM, right? So how in the TypeScript it will execute the code, to the browser with the browser level?
Yeah, in a Java, in Angular, it will come. In Angular, if you have seen at front end, you are learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, right? So you want to create for example, you are having a more than four pages, four web pages. Okay. So the one is home page, second is about contact and register, contact, and you can use the service also. So you want to create a separate HTML file. Okay, and inside an HTML file, you have to create a separate CSS. You have to link the CSS to the HTML, and you have to create a separate JavaScript, and you have to link the JavaScript to the particular HTML file. Okay, and to connecting a DOM, we are creating an ID in HTML. From the ID, we are connecting a HTML to the JavaScript. So this is a process that's happening in a front end.
Yes.
Okay, but when it's come to an Angular, if you are creating, it's like a component-based application. So Angular is like a component-based application. Once you have created a one component, in the component itself, you can able to get the HTML file separately, CSS separately, and TS separately. Okay, so we no need to connect a DOM manipulating. We are not supposed to create any link to connect a Java TS to the HTML. Okay, once you download the component itself, from the component itself, we can able to get all the files from it. It's a default one. Okay, and then if you are writing the HTML and if you want to make a CSS elements from the component itself, we can able to use. Here there is a no DOM manipulating. We are not supposed to create any ID to connect a TS to the HTML. That and all is happening only in JavaScript only, but not in a Angular. So after coming to the Angular, all you can able to understand.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, guys, then we can wind up. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.